methods or function. So what is a method or function? It is a set of executable statement to do some task or to do some specific task. It is known as method, procedure, subroutine, subprogram. These are the other terms mentioned represent the method. What are the types of method? Methods are two types. First one is the predefined method and the one is user defined method. Predefined means that is built-in functions that are available in the programming language. Example, if you want to use this if you want to find the square root of a particular value, means we will use the math class, is it? So math, M-A-T-H, math is M is capital letter, math class we will use math.sqrtf. So this math class belongs to which library, which package? Lang package. You should remember math class belongs to java.lang package. Scanner belong to java.util package. Wrapper classes belongs to java.lang package. Mathematical functions belongs to java.language package, lang package. Okay. So two types of functions. One is predefined function, another one is user defined. Predefined means it is built-in functions in the programming language, and user defined function means created by the user to carry out some specific task. When we are writing a program, it has three steps using the method. Using the method, we have three steps. First one is the function prototype. Second one is a function declaration. Function prototype. Otherwise, it is known as function declaration. Prototype or function declaration. Second one is a function definition, and third one is function calling or function invoking statement. So, what are the three steps included in a program when we are using methods? First, we have to write the function declaration. Declaration, otherwise known as function prototype. Second is the definition, what the function has to do. That entire statement has to be written in that particular definition. Then, in other method, if you want to call that defined method, means that is known as function calling statement or function invoking statement. Okay, why these functions or why these methods? Mainly three reasons. That's why we are using these functions to allow us to cope up with the complex problems. That means, consider a program is in the larger size, then it's very difficult to identify the errors or debug. So to avoid that, use methods. That means a smaller, more easily understood task is indicated in particular methods. By that way, we can avoid that complex problems. We can find the solution for the complex problems. Second one is to hide low-level details. Hiding details means once a method is defined, it can be used in a program. That means we don't want to concern about how the method task is performed. Once we have defined, that's over. We can call anywhere by the method calling statement. In the method calling statement, we are not extracting or defining the method again, just we are calling the statement. By that way, it hides the low level details. And to reuse portions of the code, that is a very important one, reusability. That means once a method is defined, means anywhere in the program or in other program also we can access the same method by the method calling statement. So these are the main reasons why we are using the methods. So the first step of the function prototype or declaration. The syntax means access specifier, modifier, function return type. This is very important. Function name, inside the bracket list of arguments. And this is the first line of function definition. This function prototype is known as the first line of function definition, and it tells about the value, data type value returned by the method and the number of type and arguments. So this number and type of arguments together known as function signature. We can tell this is function signature. So here function signature, function prototype, otherwise it is known as function declaration. So function signature in the sense number and the types of argument. Example, we are just writing void or a read of, inside the brackets we are just giving a variable integer a. So how many arguments are here? Only one argument, and which data type this one is. That is indicated by the function signature, and together this first line is known as function prototype or function definition, and this is the first line of function definition. Inside these braces we will give the statement to execute, and so this is function Declaration, other name of function declaration is known as function prototype. These are the examples: public, static, void, show off. Access specifiers means we know mainly three types: public, private, protected. That all we have discussed. Then without any access specifier, it is indicated by, or it is treated as default one. So public is an access specifier, static is the modifier, void is return type. Whenever we are writing a method, the return type should be mentioned. It's a compulsory one, return type. Which type of value should be returned? That is a function prototype. Then the second one is a function definition. That is the extension of function prototype, which consists of valid set of statements within the curly braces like this. If you are writing a method, here an example is here. Yeah, one more thing. In this case, we have two types, two forms are there. In the method, we have two forms. One is non-return type, another one is a return type. Non-return type means it is indicated by the keyword void. Void, return method name and parameter list without or with the parameter list. Void is a function data type, but they never returns any value. Function never returns any value, that is non-return type. It is indicated by the void return type. So here you can see an example: public void show of integer ABC. We have declared and just print the value. So here nothing to return. This is a void, that's why nothing to return. Another one example: this is without parameter. Here this is with the parameter. This parameter we are accessing here. Parameters or arguments passed in the brackets we are accessing here and printing the value. So this is also the same non-return type or void return type method. The next one, return statement. Return statement means used to return a value from the function definition to function call statement. Another use, it immediately exit from the method. It transfers the control back to the function call statement. How to write the return? This is a syntax. Return is a keyword. This is the keyword and you should mention the variable name. Example, x is the value variable means return x. Value is the variable means return value. So second type is return type function. That is, first type is known as non-return type, that is void. Second is a return type function. We need to use the keyword return. Function uses its data type other than void. Other than void, like short, int, long, float, double, char, boolean, string. These are all the data types we are using. That is indicating the return function type. Return type function, okay. Then examples here: public, static, int, show off. So here this is an integer data type. That's why what is the return type here? Integer. What value we have to return? Integer data. Is it? Yes. So return is a statement we are using to return the value of z. So here we have done the calculation and we have returned the value z. Here in this parameter, we are accessing the parameter here and doing the calculation, and we need to return the value because the return type of this method is known as int. And here modifier is there, static, and this is non-static. That I hope everyone remembers that static and non-static members, how will you access without static, static to static methods, or static members how we will access to non-static, and vice versa how we will do that. That all we have discussed. So then third step is function invoking statement. So first one is the function declaration statement or prototype. Second one is the function definition statement. We have defined what task we have to do. Third one is the function invoking statement, or it is known as calling statement. To call or invoke a function, we need to just use the function name. If any arguments are there, means we have to give the list of arguments. Okay, so the syntax to call a function name, then list of arguments. If we defined with the list of arguments, means we have to call like that. Here an example: static int show off, int display of. How will you call? The concept of function invoking function name and the arguments semicolon. So how will you write here? Show function name. No need to write any data type or anything. Show bracket semicolon. So this is for non-parameter, is it? Then here is the parameter case, means we can write display of, just a display of. Display is the method name. Inside that parameter, what are the parameters? We can pass it directly. 3, 2.5. I am just giving the values directly here. Okay. So this is the way we will read, we will call that return statement or define this methods. Method defined here, this method we are calling here. It is static means, yeah, we will call inside the static void main of. Inside the main method I have called this one show off. Here one more case, this is a non-static method. So non-static method cannot be called in a static method in a direct way. For calling a non-static method to static method, what we have to do? We have to create an object. Just to consider this program, these are the program. These two method has written in the class demo. Just imagine we have written that two classes inside the class, written that methods inside the class demo. So one is public static int, it is not void, yeah, integer show off. This one is defined inside this. Just assume we have initially defined here. Then the next method public int display of integer x comma float y. Like this two methods we have defined in this class. So how will you access these two methods inside the main method? The first one is the static one, second one is the non-static one. So how will you access inside the main method? Main method we are writing as public static void, that you know, static void main of, no string args of that we will write. Then here this is the main method. So how will you access? Static method means we can access directly. Show off, just we can access method system dot out dot println. Don't write SOP for space saving. I am just writing SOP. Don't write like this. You have to write it as system dot out dot println. Here we just call the method show off, so it will print, is it? Because show off means it doesn't want to. It is the same static class. Both are static. This method is static. This is also static. So we don't want to create any object or anything. We can directly call static methods can be called the static members. But in the case of non-static, this is non-static display. In this case, we need to create an object, demo d equal to new demo of that object. Just imagine we have created the object, and using the object we need to access. So d dot display of. Okay, like this we need to give the values. Okay, or just a call we need to assign in the variable. Okay, d dot display of, like this. Okay, so this is the way we will call. Function invoking means we are calling the method here. How we will call? Just a method name with a list of arguments. The next very important term is actual parameters and formal parameters. The parameters which appears in the function call statement is known as actual parameters. Example, display of 54, 2.5, like any values we are directly passing. That is actual values. Actual values are passed to the variables or arguments given in the function definition. This is the actual value we are passing to the function definition. In the function call statement, the variables, the arguments which appears in the function call statement is known as actual parameters. The actual value will copy to that variables declared or arguments given in the function definition. Second one is a formal parameter which appears in the function definition statement. That means if the example like void display of, these are the two parameters, is it? So these two parameters are C and P are known as formal parameters. 54 and 22.5 is known as actual parameters. Formal parameters, in the case arguments receives actual value from the function call statement. From this function call statement, it will receive the value and copy to here. Okay, this is actual parameters and formal parameter. Actual parameters means it's in that function call statement. Formal parameters means it is in the function definition statement. You can remember like function definition is there, formal parameter. Okay, here an example. public class name is first, and we have created that is the static method cube. Inside that float, return type is float. Here we have given a calculation part, return n. Then inside the method void first test of, inside this we are just calling the static one. How we will call y equal to cube of x. F is x is this is the function call statement, cube of x. Instead of so a is the this is function definition, is it? So function definition in the sense formal parameter. So we can tell a is a formal parameter and x is the actual parameter. This is the way how the execution goes on. You can see here first it will execute when class, then this is the function definition. So it will comes to next function first test of. Here it has initialized the values. Then from here cube of x, it has find the compiler found a method calling statement. So it will find the respective method definition and it here goes here and execute that statements and return the value. The return value has to be stored in the particular variable y. So this is function calling statement and function definition and function prototype. Function prototype. So this is the function prototype of function declaration, and together it is known as function definition, and this is known as function calling statements. The next topic, the method can be invoked in two manners. What are they? One is call by value and call by reference. Call by value is otherwise known as pass by value. Call by reference is otherwise known as pass by reference. Call by value means it copies the values of actual parameters into the formal parameter. Now you know what are actual parameters and formal parameters. Is that function definition? If we are giving the parameters it has given in the function definition is known as formal parameters. Function calling statement we are just giving the parameters is known as actual parameter. So a method can be invoked in two manners, either in function call by value or call by reference. Call by value other name is known as pass by value. Call by reference other name is known as pass by reference. So in the case of first one, call by value, that means it copies the values of actual parameters into the formal parameters. Example, actual parameters means example we can tell display of a method that already we discussed. Yeah, display of 5 or 3 means what is the value? Display of 3 is the actual parameter, and how the formal parameter we will tell? Display of integer a. This is the formal. A is the formal parameter, is it? Yes. So this is the definition. Just assume this is the definition. So the value of actual parameter 3 is copied to a. 3 is copied to a. This is the procedure of call by value. When it copies the value of actual parameters into formal parameter, it creates its own copy of argument values and then uses. It's copying, actually it creating its own copy and using the value. So any changes made in formal arguments doesn't reflect to the actual argument, is it? Actually in the actual argument any changes means, formal arguments any changes means it doesn't reflect to the actual argument. So in the call by value method, primitive data types are passed. So these are the main important points of actual call by value. Actually a method can be invoked in two manners. First one is a call by value or pass by value. Second one is a call by reference or pass by reference. Call by value means it copies the values of actual parameters into the formal parameter. That means it creates its own copy of argument values and uses. That means the changes made in the formal arguments doesn't reflect to the actual arguments. Why it doesn't reflect? Because it is creating the copy only. It is not reflecting, it is not considering the original one, it is taking the copy of the value. That's why the changes made in the formal arguments doesn't reflect to the actual arguments. And in the case of call by value method, maximum primitive data types are used. We are passing the values as primitive data types. So the second one is known as call by reference. Reference in the sense the word reference indicates location, is it? Memory address, we can tell that is a memory address. So reference means it is a memory location or the memory address. So how the call by reference? In this case, the formal parameters become the reference to the actual parameters in the calling method. But here the value is not passing. How it is working? The actual, it's not copying also. It is become the reference, it become the location, or it become the memory address to the actual parameters in the calling method. That's why called method doesn't create its own copy of original values. Rather, it refers to original values by the reference. Yes, so call by reference means the formal parameters become reference to the actual parameters in the calling method. Called method doesn't create its own copy of original values. Rather, it refers to the original values by the reference. So, changes made in formal arguments are reflected in the actual arguments. So, reference data type in the sense objects, arguments we are passing as object and array. This is very important. We need to learn this one. We can tell this method. Example demo. Demo is the class name. Demo add of. Demo is the class name. The same data type we are using. Demo D1 or something like this. So consider this is a method. Demo is the class name. Method is the method name is add. Inside this we are passing a reference data type. What is the reference data type? Class demo. And creating an object. D1 is the object. Temporary object we are creating. So this using this D1 we are calculating we are doing some calculation, or we are doing some statements. So this is the way call by reference is. An example for pass by value. That means your teacher purposely giving a passage with a grammatically incorrect passage is giving, and you need to correct it. That is, to test your grammar, your English teacher purposely writes grammatically incorrect passage on her sheet and gives it to you for corrections. So you copy down the given passage on your sheet and make corrections there. That is the pass by value. That means if you are doing any corrections in your answer sheet, it doesn't reflect to the teacher's copy. That's why it is pass by value. Actual parameters are copying to formal parameter, but it doesn't reflect back to the actual one, is it? But in the case of call by reference, your teacher gives you the original sheet having the grammatically incorrect passage and allows you to work upon the same sheet. Teacher is giving the original sheet. In the same sheet, you have to do the corrections. Then there will be changes. That is, the actual value is changing. That means whatever corrections you make, they will be there on the original sheet. That concept is known as call by reference. Here a program, example program for call by value. Yes, method void calculate of in C. We are calculating the value and calling this calculate method in that display method. Void display of Z, calculate of Z, that value we are just calling. This is a method call statement. So here this is the definition. So this is the formal parameter. This is the actual parameter. So you know, this is the call by value. Maximum call by values means primitive data values are using, is it? This is call by value. Then the next example is for call by reference. Okay, the second example, call by reference. Call by reference, class sample. This int is here inside the class we have declared. That's why it is an instance variable, is it? This is an instance variable. So instance variable, then we are creating a method, class method. Static is known as the static method, that is known as class method. Inside the class method, we are assuming or just passing the object of the class. Sample is the class. We are just creating a temporary object S, and by through the object we are accessing this instance variable. So yes, Z is accessing through the object. S dot is equal to Z, S dot is Z by 10. And in the void run method, inside the run method, we are just calling this calculate method here. And calculate of one object we have defined in this method definition, is it? This is the method definition. In this method definition, as the argument we pass as an object. So in the method call also we have to pass an object as the actual parameter. We need to pass an object. So for that, we are creating an object inside this method, sample object1 equal to new sample of, and we are giving the value object1 dot z. This z is accessing here by through this second object, object1 equal to 400. So when the calculate of object1 means the control will, how it will execute, the control will goes here, and instead of sample s, it will give the values, it's not object1, it will refer object1 and do the process and send that value object1 dot z. So this is the concept of object by reference. In this case, you can clearly understand this is a reference. So inside the method, we are passing the arguments as an object, and inside the method call also we need to pass as an object. So this is known as called by reference. That's why through the object or through the by the reference, that's why original values are changing whenever our actual arguments are updating, is it? Yes, this is the example for call by reference. Next, there are three types of methods in Java. That means first one is the computational method, second one is the manipulative methods, third one is the procedural methods. Actually, methods are classified into system defined method or built-in method or user defined method, is it? Yeah, in that case, system defined in the sense itself, we can tell computational method. This is purposefully for a computation or to calculate or compute some value and return the computed value. That's why it is known as computational method. Example, using the mathematical function, how we will do the calculation. These all comes under the computational method, and always return a computed result. So the second one is the manipulative method, the method that manipulate information and return a zero or success or failure code. That means the value 0 is returned, it indicates successful operation, or any other other number denotes failure. Like this manipulation, only the methods that manipulate information and return true or false answers means that method is known as manipulative method. Third one is the procedural method, methods that perform an action and have no explicit return value. Is there any explicit return value in this system.out.println? No, it is a procedural method. So that procedural method we are just using to print the value, is it? So in the procedural method, there is no explicit return value. Manipulative method means it manipulates the information and returns success or failure, that is 0 or 1. Computational in the sense, the method has to calculate. So it has to do some computation and it has to return a result. So in computational method, we have a return value, that is a computed result. Manipulative means we have a return as a success or failure like 0 or 1. Procedural method means it has no return value or no explicit return value. It's just a procedural method. A method can return only a single value. It can have multiple return statements. In a program, we are in a code snippet, we are just writing void add off. In this void add off method statement, required statements we have given, and just writing two return statement. Consider here we are writing two return statement. How it will execute? After the calculation, just we are writing return semicolon or return any variable semicolon, another one return any variable semicolon that I have given here. So how it will execute? Whenever compiler finds the very first return statement, it will give the value to the calling statement and immediately it will exit from that particular method. So how many, if we are giving multiple return statement also, there is no use, is it? The method can return only a single value by a single return. That single return is enough. Multiple we can give, but whenever it finds the return keyword, it will return the value, single value, it will return to the calling statement and immediately exit that control from that particular method. So these are the three types of methods. What are the three types of methods here? Which are the computational methods, manipulative methods, procedural methods. So for 2 marks, sometimes there is a question, system.out.println belongs to which type of method? That questions will be there, you should learn this one. For 2 mark it is important. Pure method and impure method. Method can be written in two ways. Two ways we can write. That is, one is pure method, next one is impure method. So what is pure method? It is the one that takes objects and or primitives as argument but doesn't modify the object. So in a short answer we can tell, doesn't modify the object, doesn't modify the state of the object. Such method is known as pure method. Then what is impure method? Impure method means it modifies the state of the received object or it changes the value of the received object. So this is known as impure method. So here let's see an example. It's a code snippet indicating pure method. Pure method means it doesn't change the value or change the state of their parameters. Example, here we have written an example. I have taken the example from the reader. Method name is after, then the return type is boolean. So we have a class time creating a temporary object time 1 and time 2. Two objects we have created from the object class time 1, then time 2. Two objects we have created. Then we are using the conditional operator. All of you know what is conditional operator. Just we are accessing time on dot. Time consists of three values, is it? Can divide as hours, then minutes and seconds. So here we are just taking only one concept, only one variable. So time on dot hour greater than time 2. Then if it is greater than means it has to return the true value. If it is false means the condition is false means it has to return false. And this is a boolean return type. That's why the value has to be written as true or false. That's why we have given here return the result. Result is a boolean variable. We have written it here. So it's pure function as it is neither modifying arguments nor printing anything. Is anything is printing or any modifications here? Nothing is there. Is it? Whatever value they are just checking and returning the value as true or false. Just as a display, a result is displaying as true or false. There is no change in the given parameters or there is no modification in the state of their parameter. That's why it is pure method. Then impure method is otherwise known as modifier method. Impure method is otherwise known as modifier method. It changes or modifies the state of their parameters. In this example, you can understand clearly. Example, here the method is known as increment, return type void, and here also have created an object. And this is a parameter, double data type seconds. So, straight. Yeah, double seconds is the variable parameter passing, and each time second object, that is time dot second, is adding with the given seconds. Then that value is minusing or subtracting with the 120. That means for seconds is 120. Consider the given values, consider the actual value of seconds is 120. Then how the value will be? Time dot second, I am just indicating as t dot s, okay, equal to t dot s plus the value of that value plus which value? 120, is it? So we will get a value. Consider this as 120. So then again next t dot s equal to minus t dot s minus 60. Minus 60 means 120 minus 60, that is equal to 16. That means each time the value is updating, the value is updating or modifying the arguments. The value is updating. Here the value is updating. So it is impure function as it is modifying the arguments received. So you have to learn this for 2 mark questions. Sometimes with example for 2 mark questions. Pure method. What is pure method? And just write an example means you have to write a code snippet like this. So please learn this pure and impure method with example. So pure means the values are that parameters are and there is no change in the parameters. Impure means other ways it is known as modifier. That means it modifies the state of their parameter. Next is the very important topic, function overloading. Otherwise it is known as method overloading. A function name having several definitions that are differentiable by the number or types of arguments is known as function overloading. So it should be differentiable by the number or the types of arguments. You remember, number and type of arguments together, it is known as function signature. Is it? Yes. So function signature, same function, name is same, but the function signature will differ. That is known as function overloading. So methods having same name but different function signature is known as function overloading, or we can tell a function method having same name but different arguments is known as, or different arguments and different type of arguments is known as function overloading. So here an example, area of, this is a method to calculate area of circle, area of rectangle. Like this two objects we need to create the, we need to calculate the area. So here we are writing the method void area of. One area of circle, what is the formula? Pi r square, is it? In that case, pi r square. So r has to be given. We have to give r. R is the radius. That's why we are passing as a parameter int r. The next area of rectangle means how we will do length into breadth, is it? So integer L comma integer B. Whenever you are just declaring or just passing different or multiple arguments in this method prototype, you should mention each argument's data type, integer L comma integer B, like this. Don't write, many of you will do the mistake like this, integer A comma B, inside the area integer A comma B. Is it valid? No, this is wrong. Don't write like this. Each time you have to specify what is the data type of that variables. You have to write like this. Two variables or two parameters we are passing in this method means you have to mention the data type of each one. Int L comma int B. If any other one more is there means comma integer C, like this you have to write. Okay. So in this example, what is the concept of function overloading? Function having same name but different arguments is known as function overloading. So this is the example, void area. Area is the same name. Here also both are same, but in the first method we have only one data, only one parameter. In the second method we having two parameters, both are integers. So but it will treat it as different parameters. Okay. So this is known as function overloading concept. There, function overloading means a function name having same, function having same name but different arguments, or we can tell a function name having several definitions that are differentiable by the number or types of arguments. It's an example, like you can do specify these examples also. And we have programs based on function overloading that we will do in the next video.